Hey guys, it's me, Mario. How you guys doing today? Hope you're doing well. It is 4 days after Christmas. Well, 3 if it's American. Don't know why Americans celebrate Christmas on the 25th. Even though Jesus was born on the 24th. So, don't know why their Christmas is on the 25th. But, whatever. Whatever. My family celebrates on the 24th, not the 25th. So, yeah. I got presents a day before the rest of you guys. If you live in the US. Today we're gonna be continuing Beast Quest. Soltra the Stone Charmer. Chapter 3. A Sword to the Heart. Alright. Tom stood on the bottom bar of the fence and stared out across the desolate field. The beast could still be nearby, he said worriedly, and it could turn us into stone. He strode back towards Storm. I have to be prepared for anything. He slid on the heavy chainmail and pulled on the golden helmet. Now he would feel no fear and be able to see the beast if it was still lurking. Excuse me. He climbed back into the saddle, sliding his shield over his left arm and loosening his sword in its scattled. Elena scrambled up behind him, her bow ready on her shoulder, her quiver of arrows to hand. Go, boy, Tom said to Storm, nudging with his heels. The stallion backed away from the fence, then, with a surge of power, he leaped forward and took the fence in one long, smooth jump. Fearlessly, the Storm cantered towards the frozen stone figures, the ever-loyal Silver by his side. Tom could feel Elena's fingers slipping on the polished chainmail as they rode. But he had no fear of her falling. She was too good a rider for that. He expected an attack from the beast, but they crossed the field without harm. The two animals were uneasy, however, as if they sensed that danger was close at hand. Everything was eerily silent as they came to a stop near the stone figures. Tom and Elena slid down from the saddle. Storm neighed nervously and backed away. Silver curled the man and his ox, sniffing the air, his ears down and the hair along his back as stiff as wire. It's Farmer Gredlin, Tom cried as he and Elena drew closer. Cautiously, he reached out and touched the stone man's chest. It was cold. Elena frowned. He looks happy, she said, as she gazed into the farmer's face. I don't understand why would someone who is about to be turned to stone be happy. Malva's beasts are unusually terrifying, Thomas said. He felt confused. This must have been done by something that looked harmless, but isn't. Something beautiful, even, added Elena. Beautiful and deadly, Tom said grimly. This is bad, Elena. This is bad, Elena. How do you fight something that doesn't seem dangerous? What do you think the beast looks like? Asked Elena. Tom gazed sadly into the farmer's face. The only person who could tell us has been killed. The only person who could tell us has been killed, he murmured. But then he looked more closely. Staring up into the farmer's eyes, was it imagining, or had he seen movement? Elena, Tom said urgently. I think he's alive. His friend looked carefully. You could be right, she said. As she moved nearer, her elbows struck the statue. It made a curious hollow sound. Tom rubbed his knuckles against the statue's arm. Again, then heard the hollow noise. The stone is just a shell around him, Tom cried. But how can we break the shell without hurting him? Elena asked. Tom drew his sword. You can't, Elena gasped. You'll kill him. Not if I find the weak point, Tom said. My uncle is a blacksmith, remember? He taught me always to search for the weak spot and then to use it. He circled the farmer. There has to be a crack or a fault line somewhere, he murmured. There has to be. Suddenly he noticed a hairline crack in the stone chest, just above the man's heart. There, he said. He lifted his sword carefully, placed the leather tip against the crack. No, Elena cried out. It's too dangerous. If you slip, if you make one wrong move, the blade will go into his heart. I won't slip, Tom said, and we have no choice. We can't leave him like this, and we need him to tell us what the beast looks like. Be careful, Elena whispered, stepping back as Tom readied himself for the blow. But he felt very sure of himself. The golden helmet gave him perfect vision as he guided the point of his sword towards the crack. He twisted the blade and pushed it into the stone. Nothing happened. Frowning, Tom drew back his hand, and slammed his palm hard against the hilt of the sword. he heard Elena give a gasp of alarm. Storm and Silver were watching with worried eyes. He struck the hilt a second time. The stone rang back, the crack held. This was no time to give up. Tom hit the hilt a third time. He saw the crack widen. A web of fractures spun out across the farmer's chest and down his limbs. Then the stone shell shattered into the fragments of tumbled to the ground. Farmer Cretlin's chest gave a great heave as he sucked air into his lungs and fell forward into his hands and knees, gasping and coughing. He was alive. And that was chapter 3. The Sword to the Heart. This is getting scary. Well, there were a lot of scary moments in this series. People almost dying, all of that, yeah. But well, I hope you guys enjoyed my read through this chapter. And I hope you like, subscribe, hit the little bell, and check out my DeviantArt if you want to. Dragon Master Mario, like always. Alright. I don't know what else to say in my outros, but yeah. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.